Are you ready?
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 Are you ready to forget your family and your job? World Cup, oh whoa. Football round the clock. Football round the clock. Football round the clock. World Cup, oh whoa. Football round the clock. Oh, oh, oh.
Hello and welcome to Football Around the Clock. I'm Derek Pyle, here with Ray Pyle, Charles Pyle, and the one and only David Kramer. Today we are going to talk about the World Cup, all the groups, some key teams, some key games, and yeah, sit back and enjoy. So like I said, we're going to talk about the World Cup today. I just want to go around to everybody and just ask everybody's feeling about this World Cup, how they're feeling and everything. So Ray, how you feeling about the World Cup this year?
Oh, I'm super stoked. It's disappointing the U.S. isn't in it, but it's a competition. It's only once every 4 years. It's in my opinion, the best sporting spectacle on the planet, and so I'm super excited.
I'm kind of depressed that's the first thing you brought up.
Wow, I mean.
All right, Charles, how you feel about the World Cup this year?
Rocking, but I have to agree with Raymond. U.S. is not in it, so a little bit disappointing on that. But yeah, Raymond's right. This is the best sporting event in the world out of any sport. So I'm raring to go. Can't wait.
Awesome. So we're talking about the World Cup, guys. We're not. I'm trying not to cry here. So, David, how you feeling about World Cup this year?
I am so excited. You guys are ridiculous. Germany brings a dominant, intimidating squad. Spain brings a youthfully rejuvenated squad. France is looking super dangerous. This is going to be so much fun.
It is indeed. And on that note, let's go look at the groups. So these are the draw results for the World Cup. Group A. We'll start up Group A. Group A, we got Russia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Uruguay. David, I'll go to you first. Do you have any comments and anything you want to say about Group A?
Yeah.
And we're back. Sorry for the delay. Some technical difficulties. I'm trying to get those all sorted out. So, as I was saying, David, do you have any comments or anything about Group A or anything you want to say?
Yeah. So I'm going to keep this super short, but Russia's looking old and very limited to Russia, which is never a good sign. They're the host nation, though, so hopefully they get out. Their best players are probably Denis Cheryshev and a bunch of Zenit St. Petersburg guys. Saudi Arabia, also not looking good. The only interesting thing about them is that their coach is Juan Antonio Pizzi, who coached Chile. I don't know how to say it in English, Chile. And they didn't make it to the World Cup, and now he's with Saudi Arabia coaching them somehow. So Egypt, on the other hand, they have a couple really good players, Mohamed El-Neni and, of course, Mohamed Salah. And if he gets better, then here's to hoping that something interesting comes from them. Now, this is the interesting one, Uruguay. So I think they're going to top the group, and I think that Russia is going to come second. Uruguay has an interesting blend of old guard with Diego Godin and Edison Cavani and Luis Suarez, and then they have and even some Christian Suarez and a couple others with this incredible midfield, which I'm very excited about. So this midfield is almost exclusively based in Serie A, and there's players like Matias Vecino, who plays at Inter, Rodrigo Betancourt, who plays at Juve, and Lucas Torreira, who plays at Sampdoria. And these guys are incredible. So if Vecino can kind of bring them together as a unit, I really think they can go far. I think that that's the exact strength of steel right down the middle and defensive structure with attacking prowess. And so the midfield's not your old your older brother's Uruguay. Your midfield is a new Uruguay mixed with some like old steel. I'm very excited. So Uruguay first in the group, Russia second. That's my prediction.
Awesome. And on that note, let's go to predictions. Ray, predictions for Group A.
Yeah, I agree. I think Uruguay has the quality and the class of the group. I think it'll be a little bit of a battle for that second place spot between Russia and Egypt. A lot depends, in my opinion, the health and form of Salah. I'm also, as David, going to pick Russia to finish second, being the host nation. Only one host nation has not gone through their group, and that was South Africa in 2010. So I'm going to pick the same, Uruguay to top the group, with Russia coming in second.
Charles, predictions?
Yeah, I'll have to agree. Uruguay's the class of that group. They should take the group, in my opinion, pretty easily, handily. Players like Suarez on the team. I mean that, and I'm going to agree. Russia second. I know Egypt has Salah, but you know, I don't know if he's going to be back from injury or how well he's going to be. Russia being the host nation, I think they're going to make it out of group of two. Egypt third, and then Saudi Arabia.
Huh. It's interesting. I'm going to be kind of rebel here. I'm going to say Uruguay first, Egypt second. I definitely think Salah is going to be back for the World Cup, and so he's going to be the difference in Egypt. I think they're going to take second there. Let's move on to Group B. So in Group B, we got Portugal, Spain. Help me out with this one, guys. I don't know how to say this one.
Morocco.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. I was thinking of Tunisia. That was the wrong one. I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Morocco and Iran. So I haven't done my research yet, apparently. So, all right, Ray. You got any comments for Group B?
I think just looking at it, it's pretty clear who are the favorites to come out. That's Spain and Portugal. Spain had an unbelievable qualifying, scoring 36 goals and only allowing 3. Portugal won the Euros in 2016. They finished they finished first in their group in qualifying as well. They play each other the first match, Spain-Portugal. So I think that'll be a must-watch in the group stage. Mm-hmm. And depending if there's a winner or maybe there's a draw. But I would pick Spain topping the group with Portugal finishing second and moving on. Morocco with Benatia from Juve. I'm going to pick them in third, and then Iran to finish in last.
I agree. Charles, any comments, predictions for Group B?
Yeah, again, no difference here. I think Spain is even though they're on a youth movement, I think Spain's going to take this just by what they've done in qualifying. And like Raymond said, 36 goals and only 3 that they allowed in. And then Portugal, obviously. And then I'll say, Morocco and then Iran. But this one's kind of an easy pick, in my opinion. Spain and Portugal are going to move on.
All right, David, what do you got?
Okay, before I rant about Spain, I'd like to do a short rant about Portugal. So everyone knows Cristiano Ronaldo, the best player in the world. You can argue that, but hey, I just wanted to say that. And then you have some other incredible players who are at top flight, like Bernardo Silva and some up-and-coming stars like Gonçalo Guedes. But the rest of Portugal seems to be an older group. Like they still have oh my gosh, what's his name at the back? They have Jose Font, but I was thinking Pepe and Bruno Alves. He's 36. He plays at Rangers, and they still have him, and I'm sure he's going to play in the World Cup. I don't know. So I see this combination of like aging people at Portugal, and then like a couple superstars And then there's a couple players like Bernardo Silva, who's doing well at Man City, but I don't think he's lighting any fires. And William Carvalho, who should have gone somewhere else last year, but he's kind of like stagnating a little in Portugal. So I actually see them as not making it through, and I think Morocco is going to get the second place. So I think it's going to be Spain, Morocco, then Portugal, then Iran. And I'd like to rant about Spain now a little. So
Go for it.
So Spain's one of those countries that, I think there's France, Germany, Spain, and Brazil, where people are like, oh my gosh, their B team could have gotten into the World Cup and won the group. And they left out an incredible quality in players. They left out Morata. They left out some incredible midfielders who have like totally changed La Liga this year. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Rodrigo, not the striker, but they left out Rodrigo, the midfielder. I think he plays for Villarreal. Anyway, just some incredible players. And then they have this striking system. They still have Diego Costa, but they have a striking system with Iago Aspas and Rodrigo Moreno, who beforehand they had to field Cesc Fabregas in the false nine, but they can now put like Iago Aspas or Rodrigo Moreno in there, and those guys will play perfectly in the system. So the best midfield on the planet combined with a striking force, which actually is like working with the system now. And I think Spain has an incredible chance to go really far. Clearly, they still have some problems at the back. Ramos can get a red card at any moment. But also, so the player that I want you guys to look out for is Alvaro Odriozola. So he plays for Real Sociedad, and he's the right back. But for Real Sociedad, he kind of actually does all the creation from the right back. I don't know if you saw the game against Switzerland, but he scored a cracker of a goal. It was ridiculous. He just nailed it across the face of the goal on a rebound. It was beautiful. So anyway, Spain, they're really looking good. But yeah, pay attention to Alvaro Odriozola. I said that wrong. But anyway.
Awesome.
Are you gonna think Cristiano Ronaldo is still the best player in the world when he goes to Manchester United?
Well, we won't even go there. That's too deep of a rabbit hole.
Yeah, another story for another time. Sorry, David. I'm agree with everybody else. I think Spain, Portugal won too. Just haven't really watched Morocco or Iran play, so don't know how they're going to do. I don't know what you're banking off. I don't know if you're banking off Morocco just doing really good or Portugal doing really bad. So, in your prediction,
I'm banking it off of the fact that in the Euros, Portugal won it, but it was one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. And this is just the same team, but older and without the impetus of a couple of the key players. Like they don't have Renato Sanchez, who's fallen off a cliff. They don't have a couple other players. So I think that they just don't have the momentum that they need. And Cristiano Ronaldo, despite what he did at Real Madrid, he's getting older. So we'll see.
Yep. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's head to Group C then. Group C, we have France, Australia, Peru, and Denmark. Ray, you kind of have some Denmark connections. Do you have anything you want? You're actually wearing their jersey there. Do you want to talk a little bit about Denmark?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Yeah, it's my wife's side of the family's from Denmark, so I'll be supporting them. One of the teams this World Cup. Yeah, I think this is a pretty interesting group. I think France are the clear-cut favorites. They have all the talent in the world. They don't always play up to the expectations or talent that we perceive that they have, though. I think Peru is a quality South American side that got through, South American qualifying, and to get through that with the likes of Brazil and Uruguay and Argentina is pretty impressive. I haven't seen much of them. I know their captain was reinstated and will be playing in the World Cup. And I think their biggest challenge for the second place spot would be Denmark. They had a pretty decent qualifying. They came in second in their group and beat Ireland in the playoff to qualify for the World Cup. I think everybody knows Christian Eriksen from Tottenham. He had a fantastic season, so he runs the whole show there. They have Christensen from Chelsea, a couple players that play in the Bundesliga, and they're a pretty, defensive side. They're pretty similar to Sweden. Not much flair or anything, but they've managed to get results to be where they're at here. And I think Australia. I like the Socceroos, but it's going to be hard for them to get out of this group. So I see France winning it, and I see a pretty tough battle between Peru and Denmark. And I think I'm going to be biased. I'm going to choose Denmark to go through in second. But that first game is going to be most important. They play each other in the first game in the group stage, so that's vital to determine who's going to reach the round of 16 in that group.
Yeah, vital indeed. Charles, you got predictions and comments on Group C?
Yeah, France is the powerhouse in this group, so they're going to end up winning the group, I think, hands down. Gosh, look at their lineup. Mbappe, Griezmann, Dembele, Giroud, Tolisso. The list goes on. The only one that could, due to injury, that did not make the squad was Coman from Bayern Munich, so he's not on France's squad. So, and he played a big part in the past. Goals and assists, and he's really fast down the wing. But I still think they're the power in that group. They should take it easily. And then I'm going to have to agree with Raymond next. Is I think Denmark. It's going to be tight with Peru. Peru did, coming out of that group with Argentina and Brazil and Colombia. But I like Denmark. I like how they've been playing. Their friendlies, they've been playing strong. Qualifying, they were strong. So I think Denmark's going to take second, and then Peru. And, Australia, they struggled. They made the World Cup, but they struggled in friendlies. They struggled in qualifying. They just, in their friendlies, when they came to play European teams, they were just no match in those friendlies. So I can't see them coming out of that group. I think they're going to come last in the group, unfortunately. But, yeah, that's my prediction for Group C. France is a strong one, and Denmark coming out second.
Awesome. David, predictions?
Can I say two things about Australia?
Go for
Their
it.
jerseys and Tim Cahill. He still plays for them. What's going on?
Oh, man.
So real quick, France has an incredible looking team. Everyone said that every year. But this year, in just the past couple of games, they've put it together. They're playing a 4-3-3, which suits Pogba, which suits Dembele, which suits Griezmann to an extent. It's going to be ugly. They're going to massacre some teams. On the other hand, I think Denmark and Peru, I think it's really close. I favor Peru. But Denmark does have some quality players. So, good luck. So, France, then Peru. That's my prediction.
Yeah, fair points. It's kind of hard to look at these groups and, well, for my opinion, and not pick the European teams in these groups that have grouped up double with Europeans in the group. So that said, I'm picking Denmark over Peru and Australia and France in there. Let's move on and go to Group D. Group D, we have Argentina, Iceland, Croatia, and Nigeria. So let's go to Ray first. Go predictions. What do you got for predictions, Ray?
Well, Argentina, the history, the roster, the class of the group. I do want to mention, though, in the last World Cup in 2014, they had some close games in their group, and their group was a lot weaker. Like, they needed a 94th minute goal by Messi to beat Iran 1-0, and they beat Nigeria 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in this year's World Cup, their group, again, I feel bad for Nigeria. I think this is like the third World Cup in a row they've drawn with Argentina. So they're going to have Nigeria in their group with
USA
Croatia and Iceland. Yeah, exactly. So, I think I'm really focusing on Croatia here in this group. I mean, they have so many quality players that play on big clubs. Rakitic at Barcelona, Modric at Real Madrid, Mandzukic at Juve. But they kind of seem to disappoint me in the Euros, losing to Portugal, and then not even making it out of the group in the last World Cup. So I'm kind of honing on them to see what they can do. Perisic from Inter coming down the wing. Mm-hmm. I think that first game between them and Nigeria is going to be huge to determine who comes out second behind Argentina in that group, in my opinion. Iceland, I'm excited to see their fan base and what they bring to the table, even though the brand of football isn't very exciting. But I'm going to pick Argentina to come out on top, and then I'm going to say Croatia gets a good result in that first game against Nigeria and finishes second to go through to the round of 16.
Okay. Charles, you got predictions for Group D?
Well, Group D is an exciting one. Obviously, Argentina is the class. You got, Messi on there. And even though, like Raymond said, they had some close games last time and they're qualifying. They started out shaky in qualifying. They came in strong at the end. But they should take the group. Wow. Second place. I agree. All the stars on this squad for Croatia, Rakitic, Mandzukic, Modric. The list goes on, but just like Raymond said, they disappoint. They did not look good during qualification. They had to go in through the playoff, and even there they struggled to make it in, but they squeezed in. They didn't look good in friendlies. Obviously, the last friendly, they played Brazil and they got beat by them. You think in my opinion, they should be the outright second place team. But going off of momentum from the Euros and how Iceland played, I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I say Iceland makes it out of the group in number 2. They're playing solid ball. They play great defense. They don't score a lot of goals, but solid defense. And the old adage, defense wins championships. Then you got Nigeria, very talented, fast. They are a fast team, and they can score goals. Even though I'm picking Iceland to come in second, that's not a gimme. Right now I got Croatia, Iceland, and Nigeria all even. But I'm just picking Iceland on. I want to see them come out, and how they did in the Euros. I mean, they showed up when nobody expected them to, and I think they made all the way to the quarterfinals before they finally got beat. That's really the only reason I'm picking Iceland. It's anybody's game. Croatia or Nigeria could easily be there also. This is going to be a fun group to watch. I really think so.
All right, David, go for it.
You guys are discounting the power of the uniforms. Have you seen Nigeria's uniforms? Come on. So I'd like to start off by continuing that list that Charles started. So he didn't mention Mateo Kovacic or Marcelo Brozovic, who plays for Inter, or Kramaric or Kalinic. Croatia has so much talent. So I know that everyone ends in itch. But yeah, no, fantastic amount of talent. I really think that despite their poor qualification, that they're actually going to come out, and Argentina is going to have a very disappointing tournament. That's my prediction. I don't know if it's just because of the thrashing that they took by Spain, but I do not trust their defense, and I think they're going to get beat on the counter time and time again. So, especially against teams like Nigeria, I think they're going to have trouble. Teams against Iceland, I don't think they're going to break them down. And Croatia, I think, actually might do a little ponage. We might see what happens here. So, Croatia, I think first. I want to say Iceland, but I'm thinking Nigeria even. So I really think that Argentina doesn't even get out of the group.
Wow. Okay.
Just being a little brave here, right?
No, I can see if, like, the points Ray brings up, like, they have sneaking these little goals by Messi here and there to barely pull off, wins or draws even. But I'm gonna have to go with Argentina's number one. But I don't know, just like everybody else, it's hard to pick who's going for that second spot. Or if you're David, pick it for that first spot. But
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just wanted to mention, like, yeah, it sounds crazy, but like every World Cup, we see a big club not even make it out of their group.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how Portugal didn't make it out in the last World Cup, Italy didn't make it out of their group the last World Cup, so it's always there. And
yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. That is true. There's always that one club that drops out.
And then there's the flip side. There's always that one or two clubs that you don't expect to do anything, and they make it out and they go far. And it could be Nigeria. Like I said, they're fast, they're powerful, they can score a lot of goals. They could easily end up winning that group. This is a group that's kind of wide open, in my opinion.
I would agree. Mm-hmm. I would agree. But for my prediction, I'm picking Argentina and Croatia as 1 and 2. But we'll see what happens there. All right, let's keep it rolling. Move on to Group E. Group E is Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica, and Serbia. However you want to pronounce it. So, Ray, obvious choice, Brazil.
Yeah, I think definitely this Brazil squad's going to be a lot different than what we saw 4 years ago. A lot better, in my opinion, and actually has a lot better shot to win the whole thing. Okay. Oh, yeah, with just in the last 4 years with different young players emerging. You have guys like Coutinho now on the team instead of Oscar or Fred or Hulk. And so it's a completely different team with a lot more, just a lot more quality, a lot more flair, and very, very strong. So no question, they're the favorites to come out of the group. I'm having a little difficult time picking the second one here. We have Costa Rica, who was one of those teams in the last World Cup, the darlings that made it all the way to the quarters. They were the ones that topped the group that Italy was in. Mm-hmm. And so I'm interested to see, if they can replicate that success. It's 4 years later. It's hard. But, they got Navas behind goal, Brian Ruiz, Joe Campbell. And with that 5-back defensive counterattacking system, they give teams problems. Serbia, this has been the first time they've been here in a while. They got some quality players like Matic on their squad, so I don't know too much about them, but I'm interested to see how they match up with Costa Rica and Switzerland. Gosh, I think I'm gonna go with Costa Rica coming in second in this group, with Switzerland and Serbia finishing 3 and 4. So Brazil and Costa Rica going through.
Okay, I can see that. Charles, predictions for Group E?
Let's see. Costa Rica, Switzerland. No, just kidding. We all know Brazil's going to take this group. They're going to come out. They have the class. I mean, the thrashing they got from Germany in the last World Cup. If they don't make it out of their group, they're all going to be slaughtered.
Fire everybody.
So they're going to come out. They're a class act. They have talent every which way, so they're going to win the group. After that, Serbia is kind of an unknown. They look pretty decent during qualifying, though, and they play good defense from what I've seen from them. So they're kind of one of the unknowns. Costa Rica, hey, they helped knock the U.S. out of the World Cup. They play decent ball. They always play the United States really close. And like I said, last World Cup, like Raymond said, they were one of the ones that came out of the group, and they looked pretty good. Switzerland is one of those. Oh shoot! It won't do it now. There we go. They have talent everywhere, and it won't work. You got a couple. You got some goalkeepers in the Dortmund and Mönchengladbach. Shaqiri. I know Stoke City just went down, but Shaqiri's he's really good on the flanks. They have talent. To me, it's going to be. It depends on how Switzerland played. They came through during the playoffs also to get into the World Cup. They've had times where they looked really good, and they had times that they kind of struggled. This is a tough one for me. It's going to be either Switzerland or Costa Rica. I'd love to say Switzerland with the talent, and especially rooting for the Bundesliga players that are on Switzerland. But I might have to give the edge to Costa Rica again. They have experience in the World Cup. They've been there before. They're kind of unknown. Maybe Switzerland, Serbia don't know how to play them. So I might edge Costa Rica. Brazil, Costa Rica is what I'm guessing. But it's going to be tight between Costa Rica and Switzerland. It'll be another good group.
All right, David, Group E prediction.
Wild card. No, so first of all, you guys aren't taking into account all the injuries that are occurring. So Neymar's still injured for Brazil, and they said that he was looking better, but then they downgraded that. So I don't think that's a psychological ploy. I'd say that he's actually still injured fairly badly. I don't think that he's key to Brazil getting out of the group. Brazil's clearly going to dominate still. And then secondly, Joel Campbell for Costa Rica, I'm pretty sure he's injured, and he's instrumental to that group as well. He's when they play their 5-4-1, he's one of the guys either up top or on the wing that just provides the spark. So against quality opposition, which they're going to be going against, I don't think Costa Rica is getting out. So Brazil and then Switzerland. Switzerland's looking very steady. I would like to point out for Brazil, pay attention to the midfielder. It's another Fregi. He was just moved from Shakhtar Donetsk to Manchester United, I think. So pay attention to him, up-and-coming player.
Just to comment, Neymar is back. He scored against Croatia over the weekend, and so is Campbell. He played in Costa Rica's friendly.
Yeah, but I think they're still more injured than people say. So look at it, pay attention to it. Neymar is clearly going to be a big influence on the World Cup if he's healthy.
Yeah, interesting. Also, while on the topic of injuries, Xhaka, am I saying that right? Xhaka from Arsenal plays for Switzerland, and he had an injury scare, I think, in the game during the game against Spain, where Switzerland tied Spain. But as of yesterday, Switzerland has announced them in their 23-man squad to go to the World Cup. So, yeah, with that in mind, I don't know. I see Brazil and Switzerland top in 1-2. With how much power Switzerland have, I can see them top in Costa Rica and Serbia. That pretty much sum up Group E, guys. Awesome. Let's move on. Group F. Group F, we got Germany, Mexico, Sweden, and Korea Republic. I was trying to say North Korea or I don't know.
South Korea.
Yeah, so it's Korea Republic. Because that's what I'm reading. I'm confused, guys, because of the Olympics. Because North Korea is like, oh, let's make it a joint team, and then like, oh yeah, we got a joint team, and then they're not joint in the World Cup now. I'm like, what the heck?
No, yeah, it's just South Korea. Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody knows North Korea won the World Cup. Just ask their president.
Okay, so Ray, Germany, obvious choice, or?
Yeah, definitely. Germany, the obvious choice in that group. Again, the first game, I think there's a pattern. There's a lot of group stage games where things can be decided in that first group stage game with big matches between teams that are pretty even, vying for those top two spots. So yeah, I think Germany. I worry about them going forward as far as goal scoring. They brought Mario Gomez and Timo Werner as their strikers. The midfield's pretty stacked. I like that some newcomers. Royce finally got to come to a World Cup after being injured for so many.
Gosh.
I wonder about players like Goretzka, how much he's going to play, because he's a young star. Joshua Kimmich, his first World Cup. So yeah, definitely they're the favorites.
What about Sane? What's your view on Sane getting left out of the World Cup?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Me too.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. That pace coming down the wing, if they're going to be missing that. Especially in the later knockout rounds against quality teams. So Germany going through. I kind of debated between Mexico and Sweden. I'm going to have to take Mexico to go through. I just think Sweden's a little too, defensive. Just not enough quality there to score enough to keep up. But I think, South Korea is a bit of a wild card because they've been in some World Cups where they've surprised, teams and made it through into the knockout round. So, but yeah, I'm going to stick with Germany, Mexico going through.
Cool. All right, Charles, predictions for Group F?
Yeah, the champions are going through, definitely. They're the dominant team. They're going to go very far in this tournament again. Germany and the Sané thing. I think Löw took experience over speed and youth. You got Özil on the outside. You got Draxler on the outside. Julian Brandt could play on the outside. Khedira's there. Toni Kroos, who usually plays in the middle, but he could play outside. I just think they took experienced players that were there last time over youth in certain situations. Rudy was kind of a surprise. He was one of the ones that was on the bubble in midfield. He's a defensive midfielder. But then they also took Petska, who's a youth player, but he also plays defensive mid. Both of them are really good at feeding the offense up top. I'm not worried about them scoring goals. If you've ever watched Werner play, he's lights out. He can score against anybody, so I'm not worried about that. My thing is probably more on the defense. Boateng came back. He didn't play in the last friendlies, but he's back in training in full, so he should be hopefully ready to go by the time the World Cup comes around. So Germany is the one there. Mexico, they've looked good in qualifying. Towards the end, they struggled at the beginning of qualifying, but they came out at the end. The last few friendlies they looked really good in. They have a lot of talent down there. They have good speed. South Korea, again, that's the wild card. What I have seen from them, they do look decent. They have good speed also. We'll have to see what happens. And I agree with Raymond on the Sweden thing. Without Ibrahimovic there, Goal scoring is kind of light. They struggled in qualifying, even though they made it into the World Cup. They didn't really look that good. This is a tough one for me. I don't think Mexico has this hands down. South Korea is the unknown. Sweden off and on. Germany definitely, and I don't know. It's a toss-up. I'm going to say South Korea. They look pretty decent from what I've seen, and I think they might come out second place over Mexico.
Wow. Okay. Cool. David, predictions for Group F?
I'm not going to say anything more about Germany. We're good there. I would like to emphasize that Mexico is an interesting squad. This is the first time they have 15 players from outside of Mexico that play outside of Mexico in the team, which is a crazy number. The coach for years has been emphasizing that they need to have more European players there. And then, of course, Jonathan Dos Santos and his brother go and play. They move around. Anyway, so I don't know. Giovanni and Jonathan go to LA Galaxy, and Carlos Vela is now LAFC. So I don't know if that's the experience they're looking for. I don't know if Mexico has it. They have a couple players that have had fantastic years. Andres Guardado had a fantastic year, and a couple other players, but I just don't think Mexico has what it takes. So Germany, and I don't know, toss up between South Korea and Sweden. I like South Korea. Song Young-min, I think he's going to do some good things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to bring that up also, the South Korea's son. And yeah, a lot of other players that, spread out too. I know Mexico has Herrera and Chicharito, and like you said, David, they have like 15 players on their squad that play in Europe or around the world. But Chicharito is not in form this year. We hardly heard anything about Herrera at Man U. So yeah, I'm gonna agree with David. I'm Germany number 1, but I'm gonna pick Sweden at number 2. These be my top 2. All right, let's move on to Group G. Group G, we got Belgium, Panama, Tunisia, and England. Ray, do you think there's an obvious choice here, or?
Yeah, I think Belgium, with their quality, are definitely in a favorable group for them to get through. And I don't know, I think England also was very blessed to draw a group like this. Yes, they have Belgium, but they have Panama, who's in there for the first time, and then Tunisia, just not enough quality or experience there. And so it would be very disappointing for England not to go through. But yeah, definitely, I think they're going to go through. They're going to finish second behind Belgium and move on to the knockout rounds.
All right. Charles, predictions? Group G?
Yeah, I don't think I'm as concerned about England as Raymond is. They've looked really good lately in all their friendlies. It's a youthful side. They've looked pretty powerful on the attack. They had great defense. The midfield moves the ball. I was kind of worried at first because, again, they started off slow in qualifying. It's like, ooh, are they even going to make it? But then down the stretch, they poured it on, and they made it without going to the playoffs. So they won their group there to get an automatic bid. And then they kind of had that youth movement, and I like that. So I don't give Belgium a free pass on this one to win the group with England being there. I wouldn't be surprised if England actually won the group. Belgium has that talent. De Bruyne is there. He's one of the, in my opinion, he's showed this year he's one of the best players in the world So they have the talent, but the problem I have with Belgium is we always put them up there, and they always seem to disappoint. This is a tough one for me. Obviously, those are the two that are going through. Panama is pretty strong. I don't know much about Tunisia, but they're going to come third, fourth. It's between Belgium and England, and I'm going to pick Belgium number 1, England number 2, but it's more of a up in the air, pretty much even. Belgium, to me, is a team that has a lot of talent, but they don't play as a team. They play as individual talent. And I think that's where, sure, that'll get them out of their group. They might make it all the way to the quarterfinals, but I don't know going past that because they don't work as a team. They try to use their individual talent to win, and when it comes down to it, the clubs that, or the nations that play as a team, like Germany and Brazil and Spain, those are the ones that come to mind when to move further in the tournament. I'll say Belgium, England, that order, but it's not a gimme in my opinion that Belgium's going to win the group.
Interesting. All right, comments, David? I know you're kind of hating on the England excitement a little bit.
I was talking to an England fan, well, someone from England today, and I was like, I think this is going to be England's year. And he's like, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't jinx us. I'm really liking the England squad as well. I think that they have some deep flaws, but I think Belgium has even bigger flaws. So I think England can win this group. I would like to point out, though, the Jekyll and Hyde nature of Belgium. They have all this talent, and then they have this manager, Roberto Martinez, who simultaneously won the FA Cup, I think, with Wigan, and also got them relegated. So, is that the scenario, Ray? Is that how it went?
Oh,
Yep,
man.
I believe so.
Yeah. So the thing is that in the World Cup, you can't get relegated, but you can win it. So what is going to happen? Who knows? There's a lot of things going on with Belgium right now. They didn't bring what's his name from Radja. I can't say it. Nainggolan.
Oh, Nainggolan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a
So
big surprise.
he's not going to be on the squad, and it's all because of Roberto Martinez. I think Nainggolan, who he smokes all the time, he parties all the time, and I think Martinez thinks that's not how the modern footballer should be. To get down to it, though, anything can happen with Belgium. So the safe bet is to actually say England. England is the safe bet to win the group, and then Belgium to go second. So if England wins the group, they have a chance to go really far.
Wow, that's a lot of faith in England.
I just want to look at both the teams and name off all the players on both teams, all the stars in these two squads. So you got Thibaut. So I'm gonna start with Belgium. So you got Thibaut Courtois, you got Company, you got I'm gonna butcher his name, Alderweireld. Is that how you say his name?
Alderweireld. You
got Vertonghen, you got De Bruyne, Dembele, Lukaku, Hazard, and Michy Batshuayi. So there's a lot of big stars on that team. But then you head over to England, and it's practically the same thing. You got Jack Butland in there in goal. You got Jones. You got Walker. You got Rose. You got Stones. Gary Cahill. You got Fabian Delph. You got Lingard, Ali, Dyer, Henderson, Welbeck, Rashford, Sterling, Kane, Jamie Vardy. Like everybody practically knows every player on the England squad. Because
the important thing, though, is that they're not just famous; they're hard workers that want to play as a team, and that's the difference between this England and previous Englands.
Yeah, and it's all about playing as a team, and that was my comment about Belgium. They have all this talent, but they don't play as a team; they play as individual talent. And England, I mean, Gareth Southgate is the coach, and he has this team playing kind of like Liverpool. It's not your typical 4-4-2 boring, sit back, play defense, see if we can get a counterattack once in a while, the old English boring style of play. This is exciting, at least what I've seen in the last few months. This is exciting play for England. They're counterattacking, they're moving in the midfield, they're on the edges, flying up the edges, they're crossing into the box, they got forwards going into the box. To me, this is an exciting team, and I think you're right. If they play their cards right, they could go far in this tournament. This is a different England.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a totally different England. And I think the key players for England obviously are going to be the top two, Rashford and Harry Kane. But I think the star that's going to stick out most in the World Cup for England is going to be Rashford. He's a rising star coming from Man U, and he's been on fire this season. And I think he's going to really hit off in the World Cup. I think he's really banking off just really selling himself to the squad and to the whole world this World Cup. I think he's really going to shine. So with that, I'm going to pick England number 1 and Belgium number 2. As for... Let's go to that game real fast, England versus Belgium, and let's do a little prediction. Even though... I don't know. It's just going to be a really hard game. Raymond, please get a quick prediction on that game.
So that's going to be the third game, the last game of the group stage. So by that point, if both teams do what they're supposed to against Tunisia and against Panama, that game's going to determine the group. Don't get me wrong. I'm supporting England. I'm pulling for them. I think I want them to go far. I think this is a different England team in that they're younger. They have a lot more quality, a lot more flair, and like you said, they work hard and they work as a team. And even though they're playing a 5-back, they are very a lot more creative than previous England teams going forward. I just think that I know Belgium has its issues. I don't know if it's going to be a draw or. Yeah, I just think Belgium's gonna pull it off and top the group. I think they'll win that final game to top the group.
All right, Charles, quick prediction on the England-Belgium game.
Like I said, in my prediction, I had Belgium by a slim chance, but it could go England. I agree with Raymond. It's going to come down to that game. If both teams do what they do, they're going to win the rest of their games. Whoever wins that's going to win the group. I think it's going to be tight. It's either going to be a draw where it's going to be goal differential of one going through, or it's going to be like a 1-0 or 2-1. It's not going to be high powered scoring. Very talented. And the other thing, a lot of these players on Belgium play in the EPL, so these two teams actually know each other quite a bit and know what they're going to do,
it's
and
true.
They play with one another. That's a hard prediction. Like I said, I predicted Belgium to win the group, but I'm not confident in that prediction. So whoever wins this game is going to win the group. That's really all I can say. It should be a good game, though.
Agreed. Except I think that the opposite. I think it's going to be a million goals. I think Roberto Martinez is not going to play any defense. And I think that Gareth Southgate is going to go out there attacking, and that means there's going to be tons of goals. And I think Belgium's quality is going to get them some goals. But I think that's a flaw in Roberto Martinez's game. And so I think that England has a chance to go through. I think really high scoring, 4-3, something like that.
Oh, wow. I was thinking, England playing this 5-back system, maybe that's why, because letting in some goals and things during qualifying and back in the other World Cups, they went to that 5 system might help their defense a little bit. So that's why I was thinking a lower scoring game, but yes. They are going to come out and attack.
Yeah, so being a Chelsea fan, Antonio Conte kind of brought the what you call Italian ball, or the 5-back defense, the 5-3-2 to England, and so Chelsea's kind of an expert on it, and I've been watching it ever since he came for last 2 years, and so those wing backs play more like a left mid, right mid. And they have to go up. They're forced to go up and attack and provide those balls in, and to provide obviously more width to the play and to free up the center a little more. So that's why England has gone to this 5-back, because they see, because that's what, like, one of the most used formations in the Premier League right now, and what the players are already used to and everything. And you got Walker and Rose on there who play in those systems anyway, so they're used to playing in there. So
speaking of Walker, I think he actually played right center back a couple of times for England qualifiers, and I think that meant that Alexander Arnold played right back. I can't remember. I'm guessing. And then also Eric Dyer is a center back / defensive midfielder. So there's a lot of flexibility. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, that makes for a more flexibly a more tactically flexible team, but maybe a little less strength. I've seen Eric Dyer make some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game. That's just my opinion of the game. But overall, I think that it will stand them good stead.
Yeah, but before you said anything, David, I was thinking more what Charles was thinking is like a low-scoring 2-1 game. But yeah, and if you really look at it, you got Rashford, Harry Kane, Vardy up there maybe. You got Sterling, you got Dele Alli. And the Belgium side, Lukaku, Hazard, De Bruyne. So it could potentially be a very high scoring game. I'm going to still stick to my guns. I'm going to say 2-1 England.
Let me give you one name. Gary Cahill. Okay, that's all. Keep going.
Don't get me started, man.
I mean, we always expect these kind of things in high-powered offensive teams, but then when they actually meet, it doesn't end up being that way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the Champions League. Real Madrid can score at will. Liverpool can score at will. I mean, 3-1. Technically, the game was 1-1 because Liverpool's goalie made a couple horrific non-saves. But it was low scoring. It was a pounding game, and that's why I'm kind of considering maybe this is going to be the same kind of thing. Who knows? It could be high scoring. It could be 4-3.
Let me point out the one difference, though, and that's that Zinedine Zidane knew that was Liverpool's tactic, and so he did everything he could to counter it. I don't think Southgate and Roberto Martinez are going to have any tactical confidence in their game. It's just going to be all out craziness. So,
which is great for the fans. I want to see this game.
Oh man, so
it's going to be great.
I was just about to mention that. I think this is going to be the game of the group stage. Like, this is going to be the game everybody's going to look out for and everybody's going to watch, even more than Brazil, Germany versus Mexico, any game. Because if you listen to me, I named off, like, out of 46 players, 3/4 of those players everybody knows because of the Premier League. So it's going to be really a powerhouse game, and make sure to tune into that. I got that down there on Fox. On Fox, not FS1, on Fox, June 28th. So tune into that one. Let's move into now Group H. So Group H, we have Poland, Senegal, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Colombia, and Japan. Honestly, guys, like this group totally caught me off guard. Like, even though is the last group and last group of the draw, like, okay, these teams are together, but it's like, for me, I don't know who's gonna win this group. It's a total toss up between Poland and Colombia, and I don't know. Like, I can totally see Poland and or Colombia, just totally sucking and dropping out, and then Senegal or Japan just taking it by the reins and going for it. I don't know. What do you think, Ray?
I think this is also one of those exciting groups, similar to Argentina, where it's wide open. If I were a betting man and had to put my money on a team, I think I would pick Colombia to come out first in this group. I think they're, just their quality compared to the other teams. Japan is a wild card for me. I don't know much about them, but I know they can, be a thorn in the other team's side. Maybe possibly finish second to come out. But really, I'm focusing on Poland and Senegal, and they also played in that first match in the group stage. So Poland, with Robert Lewandowski, they have some quality players that play in Europe with Piszczek. Their keeper plays for Roma or Juve. Sorry, he backed up Gigi Buffon. Milik up top alongside Lewandowski, Blaszczykowski. But then, Senegal, they have Mane. They had a solid qualifying campaign in Africa. And so I'm gonna pick Colombia to come out of the group, and I'm gonna go with Poland to finish second, slightly above Senegal to go through.
All right, Charles, predictions for Group H.
Yeah, this is a wide open group, and Raymond made some good points about Poland. They have talent and everything, and they won their qualifying pretty well. I mean, they dominated, and the only issue I have with Poland is Robert Lewandowski scored 90% of their goals. And we know about Robert Lewandowski not showing up in big games, or at least for Bayern Munich in Champions League, he doesn't show up for some reason. And that's my worry about Poland. They have probably the most talent out of all four of those clubs. Colombia is good. They got Jaime Rodriguez. They're an up and down team. One time they won't make the World Cup. The next time they will. The team that's impressed me the most from what I've seen watching tape and everything is Japan. Kind of like South Korea. They're fast. They're disciplined. Senegal, I don't know much about them. African teams are usually powerful, very fast, maybe not as disciplined or as technical as like the European and South American teams, but they have power and they have speed and they can score. This is going to be tough for me. I'm going to say Poland first, Japan second. I don't think Colombia is making it out with Japan being in there. I think Japan is a very disciplined team, and that's what's going to get them out of the group. And I think Colombia, they have some stars. Jaime Rodriguez is the biggest. With Japan being there, I think they're going to be a thorn, and I think Colombia is going to come in third. But again, this is wide open. Anybody can win it, and anybody can lose it. So, but that's just my prediction. Poland, Japan.
All right, David, prediction for Group H.
First of all, just like everyone said, this is an absolute mess of a group. Who knows what's going to happen? I would like to name some names, though, for Senegal. Well, first of all, let me point out that they only have 5 midfielders, quote-unquote midfielders, that are going to be there, and they have 8 forwards. So that just goes to show you. And all their midfielders play for Everton, West Ham, Birmingham, Wolverhampton, and Stoke. So there's 2 things I want to point out about this. First of all, if you want to have good midfielders, that's not where they play. So those midfielders are stodgy, defensive, and they're not creative. On the other hand, they have Sadio Mane up top. They have Biram Diouf, and they also have this young guy, Keita Balde. He plays for Monaco. Mm-hmm. He's a really good player. So there's a couple other guys. I'm not going to go through all their names. Risako, you guys know him. He plays for Rennes. Basically, my point being that they have this weird defensive thing with this incredible attack, which maybe that will help them on the counter. I don't know. I really let's go with Charles and say Japan, actually. So I think it's going to be Japan and Colombia. But look for Keita Balde in Senegal. They actually have some good players. Their midfield looks so awful.
Huh, that's interesting. You don't think Mane can pull off maybe a Salah with Egypt?
He can't carry a team that's not carrying itself. So
It's true. It's true. Yeah, no, it's a very hard group, but I'm gonna have to go with Colombia number 1, and I don't know. It's so hard. Like I want to pick Poland, but I can easily see Poland being overthrown by either Japan or Senegal. I'll go with you guys. I'll do Colombia, Japan. So
Yeah, Poland's. I agree. Poland's up in the air because if you really watch their qualifying, and they're a one-man show for scoring. They play as a team, but Lewandowski's 90% or even more of their scoring, and that when you get to the big time like the World Cup, that's going to be kind of hard for them. Maybe not in this group. Who knows? But I'm picking them to move on, but I'm not comfortable with Poland. They look good in their qualifying. They really look good, but
if in a World Cup, if a team can focus on one player and that player is not named Messi, then they can shut him down. So.
Yeah. No, I agree.
awesome. So there it is, folks. World Cup and all the group stages, all wrapped up in an hour. Let's go around do predictions. See who's gonna win it. Ray, who's gonna win it?
I think the semifinals is going to come down to Brazil, France, Germany, and Spain. I'm not sure how the bracket looks of who would play who, but I'm going to say France somehow gets all their talent together and pulls it out and are the 2018 FIFA World Cup champions.
All right, Charles, predictions to win it?
Yeah, the semifinals. Germany, Spain. I think it's either going to be something like England, Belgium, France, obviously. My heart goes with Germany. I'd love to see them repeat. There's just too many unknowns right now. They've had injuries. Some days they look really good. Other days they don't. Obviously, I know Joachim Löw he's trying to experiment with some younger players and things. They are, to a lot of people, the favorites. I am picking a Germany-France championship, and I'd love to see Germany win it, but I'm going to have to go with Raymond. I think France has looked phenomenal during qualifying in all their friendlies, and I think they've stepped it up a notch, and I think France is going to win this World Cup. I hate to say that because my heart's with Germany, but I have to pick France.
I'm gonna. So I want to point out that it's happening in Russia in summertime, and you guys don't know how hot Russia is in the summertime, but that's actually going to influence things. It's kind of like how they had to pause and take water breaks in Brazil. They're going to have to do the same thing. Germany is incredibly disciplined, and they worked through that very well because they did not overextend themselves. They did not overwork themselves. They knew how to get the job done without killing themselves. So I think Germany is going to do well, and I think Spain's going to rebound. So I can't step away from my heart, Charles. This is the one thing I was going to say, though. This World Cup really bodes well for France because they haven't internally combusted already. If they were going to go down, they'd probably already be breaking up in the middle. And I think that switching to that 4-3-3 is going to do them wonders. But Spain, got to go with my heart.
Cool. Interesting. Yeah. I'm going to go with Charles, do a France-Germany final. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring. But I'm going to pick Germany to do a repeat with 4-3 in extra time. Germany. That's my pick.
All right, hey, I hope so. I'm rooting for Germany all the way. The USA's not in it, so I'm rooting for Germany all the way. But it's hard to repeat a World Cup. It really is.
It's very hard to repeat a World Cup. Let's see if they can do it. Well, that's it for today, guys. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. All that social media stuff. Stay tuned to our podcast upcoming. Talk more about the World Cup, talk about transfers and stuff for the clubs this summer. Stay tuned to those, and we'll see you next time.